I've seen it happen more times than I'd like to admit. You grab a cheap rotary laser off the clearance rack, set it up for a quick job, and by the end of the day you're wrestling with drift, dead batteries, and a wobble that makes you wonder if the whole thing was a waste of time. The regret of that cheap shortcut can turn a simple layout into a night-long headache. That's why today I'm looking at the Leica Rugby 640 rotary laser level with the Rotary 140 and asking whether it actually feels like the smarter buy or if it's just another high-priced gadget that promises more than it delivers. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. When you're standing on a construction site or a sprawling backyard and need a reference line that stretches across the whole space, the first thing you think about is reliability. The Rugby 640 isn't a toy. It's built for professionals who can't afford a misaligned foundation or a deck that isn't perfectly level. What makes it different from the budget units you see on the shelf is the combination of Leica's laser technology and the Rotary 140 detector, which lets you pick up the beam from up to 140 meters away, even in bright sunlight. Let's talk about the everyday scenario that most of us have faced. Imagine you're laying a new fence line across uneven terrain. You set up the rotary laser on a tripod, turn it on, and the beam spins a perfect 360-degree circle around you. With the rod eye attached to a simple handheld pole, you can walk the entire length of the property and see instantly where the ground deviates from the ideal line. In my experience with similar Leica systems, the beam stays true to within a few millimeters over that distance, which is exactly the tolerance most contractors need to avoid costly rework. Now, who should actually consider spending the extra dollars on the Rugby 640? If you're a licensed contractor, a landscape architect, or a serious DIY enthusiast who tackles whole house remodels, this tool is a genuine time saver. The ability to lock in a level reference that you can trust for hours means you spend less time rechecking and more time moving on to the next task. The detector's long-range capability also eliminates the need for multiple setups on larger sites. You just walk farther with the rod, and the laser still reads cleanly. On the flip side, if your projects are limited to a single-room remodel or you only need a level once a year for small garden work, the Rugby 640 might be overkill. There are lower-priced rotary lasers that get the job done for short runs, and the extra expense of the Leica brand may not translate into a noticeable benefit for those occasional tasks. In other words, the value proposition drops off when the range and precision aren't actually being leveraged. Strengths show up in the little things that become big when you're on the job. The Rugby 640's self-leveling mechanism is quick. It takes just a few seconds to settle within 1/8 inch ch per foot, which is faster than many competing models that require a longer warm-up period. The battery system is another practical win. It uses a rechargeable lithium pack that lasts through a full day of intermittent use, so you're not swapping out disposable cells every few hours. The Rotary 140's ergonomics are worth a mention too. The grip is molded to fit comfortably in a gloved hand, and the display is bright enough that you can confirm the beam's presence without squinting, even when the sun is high. No product is without its trade-offs. The first is price. Leica sits in the premium tier, and the Rugby 640 reflects that. For a small shop or a hobbyist, the upfront cost can feel like a hurdle. Second, the unit's weight, while still manageable, is a bit heavier than ultralight models aimed at casual users. That means you'll need a sturdy tripod or a stable base, especially if you're working on uneven ground. Finally, the rotary laser's rotating head can generate a faint hum that, while not a functional issue, might be noticeable in a quiet indoor environment. It's a minor annoyance, but worth noting if you plan to use it inside a finished space. Real-world durability also matters. I've read that Leica's optics are sealed against dust and moisture, which translates to fewer headaches when you're out in the rain or dealing with dusty demolition sites. The laser's visibility doesn't degrade quickly, so you won't find yourself recalibrating after a week of use. Those are the kind of practical details that keep the tool in service long after the warranty expires. If you decide you're in the market for a rotary laser that can handle both large commercial jobs and detailed residential work, the Rugby 640 paired with the Rotary 140 checks a lot of boxes. It gives you the confidence of a stable, long-range beam and a detector that doesn't quit on you when the light is harsh. It also saves you money in the long run by cutting down on rework and minimizing